Yo, I am free. Hell, lost another one. I am free. I am free. Oh, I am free. Hell, lost another one. I am free. All right, how's everybody doing, man? Look like we got a full house in here tonight, man. You guys ready? All right. Make sure you get ready for some Q&A. Chat, I'm on your cue. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Hope for Prisoners Tuesday Night Huddle Up. I am John Ponder, founder and CEO of Hope for Prisoners, and we are so glad that you have joined us tonight, and you guys are in for an absolute treat this evening. Before we get underway, I want to say hello to everybody that's here at the Billy Walters Center for Second Chances. Give yourselves a big hand for joining us tonight. You guys do a little bit better than that. Let's try it again. Give yourselves a hand for being here tonight. Also want to say hello to our friends out in Nevada Department of Corrections. We got Gene Conservation Camp on. We got Southern Desert Correctional Center and Casa Grande Transitional Facility. Can we say hello to them, please? And everybody say hello to Charlie. We also want to say hello to all of our friends that are watching on Hope for Prisoners Facebook Live page from all over the world, on LinkedIn, and also the Hope for Prisoners YouTube page. Can we give them a hand as well? And I got a little my sidekick here tonight. Hey, listen, we are in for an absolute treat tonight. But before we get up and running, we want to open up in the Hope for Prisoners fashion and see if anybody has any testimonies that they like to share. Some of you may have graduated last week. Somebody may have just got back in town. Somebody might have some clean time under their belt that you want to come and share with us. So Steve Schubert, come on up. Will you give him a hand as he coming on up? And if you're watching online or in one of the institutions, you got a testimony you'd like to share, just step up, slip up your hand, and come and share. So if you could tell everybody your name and what is that testimony you'd like to share.
My name is Steve Schuba. I just wanted to say what up to Unit 12A, and I did graduate Friday, and I've been clean ever since I left prison.
Oh, give him a hand for that, man. Give him a hand. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Come on, step up. Step up, step up. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, please drop it in the chat, and chat is going to be monitoring the chat. Tell us your name and what is that you'd like to share with us.
Bryson Baldwin. I was in the program about a year ago. I had warrants out in Oklahoma. So I went out there to take care of those. They gave me a 3-year deferred and 2 years probation.
Okay.
As I signed that, but I signed here before when I was on probation here, doing my 90 days. They expedited me out there. I didn't have a place to live, so I came here. I was here 3 days, went to prison, got out, went up there, and it's been 8 months. They extended my probation 2 years and extended my time to a 15 to life. Me and my case manager just got off the phone with my probation officer. I gave her all the information that she needed. She told me I could leave the other day, so boom, I was gone. She's like, "You're already in Las Vegas?" Yeah, I didn't waste no time. But she said she's putting the paperwork through. 90 days is done.
It's going to be over, man. Give me a high five for that, man. High five, high five. He said he went down to Oklahoma. He was only 8 months and come back talking country. Any other testimonies you'd like to share here or inside the institution? We're going to go live to Nevada Department of Corrections. If you please step up, tell us your name and what is that question and comment, the testimony you might want to share.
How you doing? My name is Lamont Boulder. I want to take a moment to give a shout out to all the breast cancer survivors. I told myself that, when I finally make it out of here, there's several causes I want to support. That's one of them. I look forward to the day that they find a cure for that. It's not far off. Second, I wanted to, just acknowledge it and express my appreciation for my ability to be vulnerable. That would have never happened if it wasn't for Hope. Well, maybe not never, but it wouldn't have happened this soon if it wasn't for Hope for Prisoners. And so I'm grateful for that. And free Todd and Julie.
There we go. Give him a hand for that. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Any other testimonies you'd like to share before we get underway? Going once, Oh, we're going to go back to Nevada Department of Corrections. Please step up. Gene Conservation Camp. I'm sorry. Gene Conservation Camp. Step up. Tell us your name.
Hi, my name's Samantha. I just want to first say to my son, Alakai, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it, so I answer the phone. And for number two, John Potter, we just want to thank you so much for bringing Savannah Christine out here. She's amazing. She's a beautiful person, and we all meant the world to it. It meant everything to us.
Man, good deal. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Step up, tell us your name, and what is that testimony you'd like to share?
My name is Ashley, and again, I want to thank God, and I want to thank you. My mom saw the pictures today online, and she showed my son, and for him to see me, it just put a smile on his face, and his birthday's on Sunday, so I want to shout him out and just thank him for the blessings of 10 years, because he's my everything. So,
well, good deal. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
we have one more.
Okay, please step up, tell us your name, and what is that testimony you'd like to share?
Hi, my name is Vicky. I first want to say hi to my mom in Tennessee. She's watching for the first time today, so I just want to say hi. And tomorrow's my birthday in 10 months clean. So,
well, happy birthday, happy birthday. And let's say hello to Mom. Let's go ahead and get things on the way again, because you guys are in for an absolute treat. Before I read his bio and introduce him to you, let's go ahead and open up in prayer. So, Father, we just come before you this evening in the name of Jesus, God. We just thank you for this day. We thank you for waking us up this morning once again with you in our mind and you in our heart, God, and just giving us another breath of life to live for you. We thank you for everything you do, the things that you've done, and everything, God, your word promises that you will do. Father, we invite you into the midst of this huddle up and ask you to huddle up with us as we lift up our speaker to you, God. We thank you for his life transforming story. God, we just ask that you illuminate every gift, talent, and ability on the inside of him, God. So as he shares what he's going to share, God, that we will all receive it for the intended purpose for which he's sending it. We love you. We worship you. And pray you this prayer in the matchless name of your son, Jesus Christ. In Jesus' name, everybody said amen. All right, now what I want you guys to do, look at the person next to you. I'm talking to you in the institution too. Look at the person next to you and say, get ready. No, say it to me. Say, get ready. Say, this is going to be good. As I'm introducing you, my friend, Justin Blum. Justin is not just a devoted husband and father of two. He's a true advocate for change and resilience. After overcoming addiction and serving time, he started his career as a construction laborer, the only job that he can find. When the recession hit, he followed his passion for fitness and launched Raw Fitness in Las Vegas and eventually grew into a thriving franchise. His story proves that with determination, transformation is possible no matter what the setback. Justin inspires others to turn their past into a purpose for their future. If you guys would please put your hands together for our speaker tonight, my friend Justin Blum. Justin, welcome to the Huddle.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. How you guys doing? Awesome. So the first thing I'd like to do is I want you guys to give yourself another round of applause for being here, because I know it's a lot. And can we give John one? This wasn't around when I got out, but this is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so I want to start off by kind of giving you a rundown of just my goal for tonight with all of you. I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to tell you how I overcame what I went through. And then my goal is that you guys have enough questions afterwards that I can try to help you guys on an individual basis with any questions you have maybe on your journey from here on out, if that works for you guys. Okay? All right. So I was born and raised here in Las Vegas. I was out on the streets at a very young age. Let me see. One second. There we go. Got it. I'm not used to holding these, so just let me know if I gotta move it away or a little bit closer. Okay, so I was born here, born and raised in Las Vegas. My parents split up at a very young age. I'm sure a lot of us unfortunately go through that. My mom took off. My father was around. I lived with him and my sister for many years, but he was one of those fathers that was just there, right? He was there. He was holding space in the house, but wasn't really interested in having children, right? I kind of grew up all over the city, and so I went to Frank Kim Elementary for elementary school. I went to Matt Kelly for 6th grade. How many of you guys have been here for a long time in Vegas? Yeah, so those of you guys that didn't, we used to have 1st through 5th, then we'd have 6th grade centers, and then 7th and 8th for junior high, and then 9th and above for high school. And so I went to Matt Kelly, which was on Lake Mead and Jay. I lived in Spring Valley at the time, and this is kind of when a lot of my change happened. I didn't have a father figure. My mom was gone, and we started getting bused from where I was at the time, Rainbow and Tropicana, Spring Valley area, down to Matt Kelly is where I went. And believe it or not, I started just kind of hanging out there. I would skip getting the bus home. I started making a lot of friends down there. I started meeting people when I was in the 6th grade that I felt like cared about me a lot more than my own family did. I'm sure we've all been through that, right? And so I spent a lot of time running around the streets on Lake Mead and Jay, Martin Luther King. I started stepping at Doolittle. I was going through everything at that time. And that's when I first started smoking marijuana, was down there, 6th grade. Fast forward a little further. My smoking weed started leading to other things, right? It started having me ditch school. Are you all right? That's okay. I started ditching school. She good? I started ditching school a lot more, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I smoked weed all the way through junior high and pretty much all the way through high school. From 6th grade, I went to 3 different junior high schools. So I went to Dondero Elementary. I went to Grant Sawyer. And then I went to, no, it was just those two. I'll move forward a little bit into high school. So now I'm still doing the same thing. I'm kind of on my own. I'm bouncing around different houses. My father still lived in Spring Valley. I would live there a couple days a week. I would live with some friends around where I was going to school a couple days a week. I was just all over the place. I was always smoking pot. I started doing a little bit of cocaine through those times. And basically was just kind of out running around all by myself, right? Fast forward into high school. I went to Clark for high school. Anybody else? Clark High? One? Yeah, I went to Clark High School. And so I went to high school 96 to 2000. In my junior year, my senior year, but right at the beginning of my senior year in high school, my father passed away. And so this is where my life turned to complete, where's John? I can't cuss. Complete trash. There he is. It turned to complete trash. My father passed away. He left me $250,000 in a life insurance policy that the government just gave me, the entire thing. Here's $250,000 to a kid that's in high school that doesn't have any guidance, nothing. And so, of course, it was a big party, right? From there on out, all I did was I bought a couple cars with it, bought a lot of drugs with it, and I kind of lived this life through my senior year of high school. I still managed to go through my senior year of high school. I had some really good friends in high school, but I was, I had no guidance. I was just destined to go the wrong way. I ended up leaving high school 2 months before graduation. So I was getting ready to graduate, decided I didn't want to live in Las Vegas anymore. me and one of my best friends at the time, his name is James, we decided to pack up and move to California because we knew everything. We knew how to survive. We knew all that stuff, right? I got to watch myself with it. And so we packed up, we moved to California. At the time, our job, what we did for money was we had this job where we would pack our cars full of like just random toys and random. We worked for a company where we would walk into offices. We'd meet at a warehouse and pack our cars with like coffee cups and pens and pencils and magnets and and we would carry these things down the street and walk into businesses. And we try to sell these things, right? Hey, what's up? I got this for sale, but if you buy this and you buy that, you get both of them for a discount. And that was we moved to California thinking we were going to make it real big. And little did we know that it's a lot harder to live on your own than you think when you're trying to do right. A lot of us have experienced that. We were moving out of the city. We were going to get a good job and we were going to kind of go from there. After about, I think it was probably 6 months of that, we decided to come back because we couldn't survive. When we came back, he went and kind of did his own thing. I ended up finding my mom. I went to live with my mother, and she lived in a trailer park. And so that was where I ended up living at the time. Again, this was in 2000. One day I was sitting in the trailer park, and I was sitting on the stairs. You guys, everybody seen what trailers look like? Yeah. So I was sitting on the stairs of the trailer, and buddy came and sat down next to me, and he pulled out a pipe. And he was like, and I hadn't really seen methamphetamine before that, but he was like, I was like, what's that? He's like, it's the best. Try it. And I tried it. The rest is history, really. Anybody that has been addicted to drugs, this is where my life started heading. So I took my first hit of methamphetamine, and from there it was game on. This was amazing, right? That was it. So I started using a lot of meth. I started getting into, how can we make money doing this? Like all kinds of stuff, everything that comes along with it. I ended up getting involved in things that drug addicts get involved with. I was stealing things. I was doing a lot of drugs. I was, at that point, I could care less about myself. Nothing at all. I was, I would be in stolen vehicles, stolen motorcycles. Anybody here ever been addicted to methamphetamine? 20 years. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. And so I was running the streets from the year 2000, smoking meth, flying around town on stolen motorcycles, stolen automobiles. I was around methamphetamine while it was being manufactured. I have third-degree burns on my leg to prove it. All kinds of really terrible stuff from when I took that first hit until I went to prison in 2005. And I won't bore you guys with all of the stuff that happened during, my 5 years of being addicted to drugs. But it was methamphetamine, it was alcohol, it was lots and lots and lots of gambling, because that was the thing to do. I would try to take my car through the car wash and get stuck on the machine for hours and hours and hours. One day I walked into I think it was an Office Depot. One day I walked into an Office Depot and I needed like a printer. And so I stole the printer because I needed it. I didn't have any money. So I stole it. And then, because I was such a smart person, a week and a half later, I went back to the same Home Depot to steal more stuff because I needed more stuff. And I walked into this Home Depot. It was a Home Depot or no, it was an Office Max. I'm sorry, it was Office Max. I don't know. Over there on Lake Mead and Rainbow. Office Depot, Office Max, something like that. And I had a friend with me, and he kept coming in, and he was like, "Hey man, there's a lot of cops in the parking lot." I'm like, "We're on Lake Mead and Rainbow. There's always a lot of cops in the parking lot. We're fine." Comes back in, and he's like, "No, really, there's like a lot of cops out there." And I'm like, "We're fine. Get back in the car." And so I come out of the office depot with, I don't remember what I had at that time, but it was something probably I didn't need. I came outside, and there was like 15 squad cars, some undercover cops, and that was when I got arrested. So I got arrested on 3 different felonies. My charges, I have a burglary charge, I have a failure to stop charge, and a couple of felony evading charges. And so my burglary charge came from the office depot because I was on methamphetamine, I didn't have any money, and because I walked in to the business with the intent to steal, it's considered burglary. Had I had $1 on me, it would have been larceny. So I was like, well, wish I'd have known that when I went in the store, but I didn't have any money on me because I didn't have any money. And so so they got me with a burglary charge and failure to stop on police officers because I used to run from the cops a lot. I didn't want to get pulled over when I always had warrants out and whatever it was. They were always looking for me for something, right? And so I went to jail. I went to prison in 2005, and I got out into Casa Grande in 2007. And from Casa Grande, this is where I'm sure how many of you guys, obviously most of us can relate to the journey to go to jail, right? Everybody, right? And so this is what I'm hoping that you guys take away from this is what I'm going to explain to you guys now. This is the most important part. The previous part we all have been through in some fashion or another. So I had decided when I was locked up that like even being locked up. So when I was locked up, I did time at High Desert. I went to Ely Conservation Camp after that, and then I went to Casa Grande, and then out on house arrest for 6 months. I had decided that like this sucked, right? Everything that we know about jail and know about prison, the one thing I took away was like, this just sucks. I don't want you to tell me when I can go get a soda. I don't have to buy it off the store and go. In Ely, I would go stick it in ice out in the snow so I could get it cold. That's not the life I wanted. It's got to be better. Now, obviously, I was a tweaker. And so going to jail, at least, for the most part, it was like, okay, well, I don't got to look over my shoulder everywhere I go. I don't got to worry about a cop being behind me and I'm like, right into the next gas station, right? And so my whole thing was like, I need to figure out what happened to me up here that I can change and I can fix because I don't want to come back here. This place sucks. This place is boring. There's nothing to do here. It's just boring. This is a complete waste of life. And so I got a job while I was in Casa Grande at a company called Executive Home Builders. They were building the Queensridge Towers in Summerlin. And so we would leave Casa Grande. Maybe this is still how it works. We have like bus tokens. We'd get on the bus over there right off of Russell, and we'd go to work and we'd come back. Immediately when I got out of Casa Grande, I met a girl, and within 9 months she was pregnant. Like that happened quick, right away. So I got out in 2007. I met my oldest son's mom. I was working in construction as a laborer, right? That's as John said, like we know how difficult it is when you get out of prison and you've got felonies on you and the way the world looks at us, right? Oh, you have felonies. And I hope that you guys have some questions about that later, because I do want to talk to you about how you can get past the mindset of allowing, yourself to be looked at in that light. All right. So I got out in 2007, released on house arrest. Before I was off house arrest, my oldest son's mom was pregnant with my oldest son. I was working at a job in construction, and that was my thing. I was like, I'm just going to do this. This is great. but I'm gonna do everything I can to be the best I can. I'm gonna be the best laborer I can be. Oh, that stone needs to be moved. I'm gonna move that stone better than anybody's gonna move the stone. Like, that was my mindset. You need me to push that crate of stone up to level 6? I'll push it faster than anybody else here. Right? Because that was my thing. It's like, well, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to cook French fries, I'm going to be the best French fry cook on the planet. Right? And so that was my mindset, was like, I am going to do whatever I can to be the best laborer. And then when I'm not like pushing stone, I'm going to look at other things that construction workers do. Right? I'm going to look around and be like, oh, that interests me over there, or that interests me over there. And so I ended up kind of taking a liking to the MEP side of commercial building, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, fire, life safety. Basically, that is mechanical. It's like air conditioners, plumbing, and what they call fire, life safety, which are like sprinkler systems and, you know, what happens when there's a fire and things like that. So I ended up taking a big liking to that. And I was like, well, I'm going to do that. I want to go learn that stuff. And in 2008, I ended up moving from a laborer to the assistant MEP coordinator, which basically means I just kept learning that stuff. I kept going and going and going to the people that were in charge. And I'm like, I want to learn that. I want to learn that. I promise you, employers, people that like run businesses, they want those type of people. Those people that show initiative to like, I want to be better. Just annoy them. I promise, as a business owner myself, the people who are showing the most initiative, like, I promise you it's not annoying. Even if you feel like it might be annoying, those are the people they want to work with. Those are the people they want to invest in as far as time and money. And those are the people they want to grow. So if you guys, you know, remember that when you leave here. And so I ended up doing MEP coordinator, assistant coordinator for the Queensridge Towers. And this was, like I said, mid 2008. My oldest son was born in September of 2008. I was working through. I was out. My son was born, and I was doing MEP coordinating at the Queensridge Towers. Well, right as 2009 turned, we started feeling like the recession. Right? You guys remember what happened in 2008, 2009. And I always tell people now that like 2009 was the most challenging year of my life. It was more challenging than running the streets. It was more challenging than not having parents. It was more challenging than jail. And the reason is because my son's mother, her and I ended up splitting up. She was doing some things that I wasn't okay with because they would have led us right down the path that I had already traveled. And so she ended up moving and leaving me with this kid. In the same year, I also got let go from my job because 2009 recession tanked. The Queensridge Towers stopped being built. We actually started building a place right across the street called Tivoli Village. And that thing had just started, and then it just completely stopped because everything tanked. The company went not bankrupt, but they weren't going to put any money into the economy. And so 2009 was interesting for me because now I'm a single father. Only been out of prison for a year and a half, and now I have this child by myself with no job. And so this is going to be the main thing I want you guys to take away from here, because I went through this for a very, very long time. Is I can't tell you how many times I was ready to go back. Right? I lost my job. I mean, I wasn't bad at the drug world, man. I was pretty good. I could make some money. I was good at that stuff. It was easy. This stuff out here, working and trying to grow and having this, like, this is hard, having this child. And the one thing that kept me going was I found the one thing that I would not disappoint. And for me at the time was my son. I would hold this little child in my hand and I would just cry. I promised this child that I wouldn't let him go through what I had to go through. I just wouldn't let it happen. Every single one of you has that reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe you have children, maybe you have other family members, but there's something that you have to figure out that you don't want to disappoint even more than yourself. Right? Because sometimes we don't want to disappoint ourselves, but sometimes we do it anyways. I wasn't going to do this to him. This just wasn't going to happen. And so I lost my job. I got this child now, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Right? And so for me, I actually had a friend that I had made while I was working in the construction space. When I lost my job, he's like, you can just crash out in one of our rooms downstairs for a little while until you can kind of figure this out. And so for me, I sat down and said, okay, so how do I make it in life now? Like the only thing I was able to do is construction. I have these felonies. It's very hard to get a job. They do background checks. They don't even want to talk to me, right? And so the thing for me was I need to figure out what my passion is, because life's really, really hard. It's hard. And if you don't find something that you enjoy to do, you're going to give up. Like it just is what it is. Right? At least when you find something that you enjoy to do and things get really difficult, you can find it within yourself to keep pushing. And so for me, I'm like, the only other thing I like is banging around weights. I like lifting weights. I enjoyed it. I like lifting weights. I enjoyed health. My father passed away when I was 17. And I didn't mention this before, but he was like 485 pounds. He could have cared less about health, right? And so for me, it was fitness. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to do this fitness thing. This is what I want to do. And for me, it was just, at the time, I was like, I'm just going to go be a personal trainer. I always went to the gym. So from the day I got out, I joined LVAC, and I was always in the gym. That was my anchor. That was my time away from the rest of the world, right? It was going in there, throwing on some headphones and just going at it. That was my anchor. And so for me, it was like, that's my passion. That's what I want to do. And so I decided I want to be a personal trainer. And so that's what I did. I was being trained. I was being trained at the time by a lady named Lisa. I sat down with her and I was like, hey, I want to come into this industry. This is what I want to do. I want to be a personal trainer. I enjoy it, and I want to help other people change their lives. And so I got my personal training certification towards the end of 2009. And I kind of started personal training, but then I realized okay, I want to do something more than just personal training. Personal training to me at the time, like going into a gym, seeing the same people, seeing the same facility, one-on-one or maybe 1-on-3 as far as a trainer and 3 clients, I got more energy than that. I don't know if you guys can tell right now, but I usually have a lot of energy, right? I actually really like people. I like talking to people. I like helping people. And so from there, I decided that what I wanted to do was like big group training, right? And so I started initially, my company started out of a gymnastic facility. And how that came about, the thought process on that was like, okay, well, I don't want to do personal training anymore. There was actually what we call in fitness space, like a boot camp. There was like an outdoor boot camp out here that would, go to a park in big groups of 15 or 20 people. They would work out. And I was like, that's cool. That's kind of what I want to do. But man, we're in Vegas. And working out in the summer in Vegas outside is not happening. I'm not interested in that at all. And every now and then it gets cold. So I ended up going to a gymnastic facility. And I figured the reason I wanted to do this is because fitness works really well early in the morning or later in the afternoon. Typically in the middle of the day, people are at work. And so I know that like gymnastic facilities, their clients are kids, right? Young adults, kids. And typically they don't get out of school until later on in the day. And so I was able to go and negotiate with them and say, can I sublease some space from you? I'm going to get a little businessy on you guys, but can I sublease some space from you and I'll pay you 10% of everything I make and we'll cap that at $1,000 a month. Basically, that means I'm going to come into your facility. You're not open yet. You don't open until noon or 1 o'clock. And I'm going to train adults, people that need to lose weight, people that are unhealthy, people that have to get in shape. I'm going to train them in here at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m. in the morning, and I'll be out of your hair before you even open. And I'll pay you. And I'll be out of here. And they agreed on it. Now, getting into that facility, I did come up with a bunch of BS. When I first wrote the letter, I was like, my name is Justin Blum. I've been a personal trainer for 10 years. I hadn't been. I mean, I just got out of prison, so that would have been a little difficult. But you know, I was like, and I'd love to use your facility. You know, I'm already doing this at one of the big gyms and so on and so forth. And that was, you know, a crock, but they agreed to it. And so they agreed to it. And so I went and I started training out of the place called Gym Cats over in Green Valley. And so I started that in 2010, beginning of 2010, end of 2009, 2010. And then about 6 months in, because there was nothing like it, and I was very lucky to be kind of first to market with that. So I was like the first kind of little indoor facility. We grew very quickly. I was really passionate about helping people. I'm still very passionate about helping people. We grew very quickly. And so the lady of the gymnastics center came and said, like, I love what you're doing here, but like, there's a lot of people and my equipment's getting tore up and my flooring's getting tore up. And so I said, okay. She's like, so I gotta, you know, you gotta go, you gotta leave. And so from there, I was making enough money to go and lease a space right next door to the gymnastics facility, which is still there today, 14 years later. And so I opened up my first gym, Raw Fitness, Green Valley. It's off of Gibson and Warm Springs. And from there, every year, every 14, 16 months, I opened a new facility. Until we got 6 facilities here, 4,500 clients. And then I successfully started a franchise program as well. And we started opening up at different states. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so my thing is, that's my story, right? What I hope that you guys can kind of get out of this is like, I didn't graduate high school. I walked, I was out. I didn't get a GED. I still don't have one. Don't even care to get one. You know, like honestly, like that's, my feelings are going to be a little bit different than some other people's feelings on certain topics. But for me is I came from the same place that all of you guys came from at this moment. Right. And you have to remember that, like, so there's a saying that's like your past isn't your future, right? You hear that all the time and whatever. And I completely disagree with that. Because your past is actually what you should use to create your future, right? It's not the opposite way. To some people who haven't been through what we've been through, they'll say that, well, don't let your past determine your future. Well, that's who I am. That's who I am. Like, that's why I have the fortitude I have, or the grit that I have, or the hustle that I have. Like, that's why, because I was on the streets for a little bit. I did go through this crazy world in the methamphetamine world and the drug world and alcoholism and things like that. I did do a couple years in prison, you know, and my thought on that is, and you guys don't have to tell me how long you did. It's an interesting thing, I think, because some people say, well, I did so long that like, that's just who I am. I've been in prison too long. Some people are like, well, you only did a year, you only did 2 years, you only did 3 years. And I would argue that both of them have their troubles, because if you're out on the streets doing things, you know, that end up sending you to prison, and you go to prison for 12 months, were you gone long enough to actually change? Or when you get right back out, I mean, how many of you guys know people that went in, got out, went right back in? We all do. I was in there and saw people go out and come in before I left, right? So they come out, they go right back in. Maybe 12 months isn't long enough. Maybe it is. Maybe when you're gone for 5 years, it's long enough to realize that, like, okay, I'm a different person when I get out. So I don't ever go on either one of those, right? I don't think there's a length of period of time. It's all within you, right? And so each one of you, like, I literally came from the same place. There's something that each one of you guys possess that will get you from where you guys are right now to wherever you want to be. And I mean, this is huge that you guys are here tonight. Huge, because you're telling yourself, like, I still want change. I still want growth. I still want to be better. You know, whatever that is for each one of you guys as an individual is going to differ. But each one of you guys here on the live stream, you guys are telling yourself, right? Because we still battle that. I still battle that on it. How many of you guys still battle half and half? You're like, man, half of me, 3/4 of me, all of me wants to change, but there's still something there. There's still something there, right? There's still something there. And it's all here. You just got to want it. You know, you just got to want it. I know that's probably easier said than done because, you know, the world is a tough place. Doesn't make things easy on any of us. Let me see. Oh, I turned that off. So that's a little bit about me. I would like to, if it's okay with you, open it up to some Q&A, because each one of you guys are going to kind of be on your own journey right now. If there's anything that I can help you with, whether it's, you know, personally or if you guys are, or employment, things like that, please ask. Yeah.
Hey, before we do that, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring the mic over to you. But can we give Justin a gigantic round of applause? Give him a big round of applause. So yes, we want to open it up for Q&A. Was there something that Justin dropped in this room that resonated with you that you want him to expound on? If you are inside the institution, please just step up. Your name. Raise your hand up. Step up. Tell us your name. And let us know what that question or comment that you might have for Mr. Blum. Now, that question came from over here. If you'll please stand up. Stephanie, would you do me a favor? Can you turn that camera over here so we can make this guy famous? Just spin it. Keep coming. There. Tell us your name and what is that question or comment you might have for Mr. Blum?
My name is Gabriel, and I just wanted to ask, was there anybody who was like instrumental, like somebody who was really there for you and helped you while you started out with your business? Because I know as an entrepreneur, it's got to be hard. And was there any kind of assistance or guidance that you got when you got out?
Yeah,
That's a great question.
Yeah, great question. So what he asked was there anybody that helped me? And the truth of the matter is, I did get, when I left, because I worked really, really hard for the construction company. When I left there, I got a severance package because I was in employment there, and that's what happens when they let you go. And that check was for $10,000 when I left there. And so, unfortunately, I used, a lot of that money while I was still trying to live and stuff. But as far as, the hard thing, man, is as far as like a person or just anybody instrumental, besides the people that I had become friends with in my job, ownership of that company, there wasn't really a lot, and I know that's tough, right? Because it's like, okay, well, what do I actually do when I'm on my own? And there's a lot of different things. What do you do right now, if you don't mind me asking? Oh. Okay, cool. And so, yeah. And so the thing is like, you just start off where you're starting off right now. And as soon as you get your foot in the door anywhere, whatever the position is, be the best at that position in the whole world. Because I promise you, ownership, management, things like that. Like if you come into my company and you work really hard and you make my job easy, I'm paying you. I'm promoting you. Because that's what we start businesses for. We want to grow people. We want to make money and we want to continue to grow. And so as soon as you get your foot in the door, it's really going to be up to you.
That is
Thank
so
you
good.
for the question.
Give him a hand for that great question. Great questions. Any other questions or comments that you might have? here in the room for Mr. Bloom, or we're going to make our way over here at the Billy Walters Center for Second Chance. Please step up. Look in the camera over there because I'm going to make you famous too. You're a handsome dude. Yeah, look in the camera. What is that question or comment you might have for Mr. Bloom?
Okay, what I want to ask is, the elephant in the room is, do you think race had anything with a lot of people, you think I can go to Green Valley and open up a facility like that, because race is an issue in some cases when you go and apply for jobs and things like that. You think that helped you at all? Because I know it hurt me quite a few times.
Yeah, so that's a hard question to answer. So give me a couple of examples of what you've experienced.
I mean, it's just like I put in an application, I'm about to get the job, I walk in the door and it's like, oh, that position just got filled. It's already, after I've just been invited to get it, I already know it's what I look like, not what I can do.
Yeah, you don't want to be at that company anyways.
That's what I'm talking about. Give my hand for that.
You don't want to be there anyways.
Man. That's a great question. Great response.
But you have no idea. When you're looking for a job, you're looking for a job. You were invited there.
I understand that. Yeah. You just, you know what, if you keep putting one foot in front of another and you keep a positive attitude with that, like you're gonna run into, John, close your ears.
Yes.
You're gonna run into assholes.
Ah!
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna run into people like that. Like I've run into them, but if you keep that positive attitude and keep going, you'll hit one. You score, man.
All right, good deal. Any other questions or comments you might have? Step up. We're gonna go. Hold on, corrections. Was there somebody at Gene Camp? I am so sorry, Charlie. Okay, please step up. Tell us your name and what is that question or comment you might have for Mr. Bloom?
My name is Sonia Cortinas, and I'm here at Gene. My question for you is, when did you notice that you got curious about what made you passionate? When did the shift happen, and what was it that was it spiritual? Was it your kid? Was it all of it? When did you notice?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. They can see me if I look in here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So to be honest with you, when I was at Ely Conservation Camp, I was on NDF, and so we would go out and fight forest fires, come back, or we'd go out and shovel snow in Ely and McGill, and then I would just come back and I would just hit the weight pile, and that was kind of my thing. Is like I really started enjoying that, and so I started figuring out, like, while I was locked up, that my passion was fitness. I really enjoyed it. And I think what you have to do is you have to try a bunch of different things, because if you force it, it never works. So whatever opportunities that they're giving you guys over there, try a bunch of different things and see what resonates with you. And then, of course, once I got out, my son didn't create my passion, but he was the one that kept me in line. He was the one that when I knew and I felt like, man, I could just go, make some money this way, I would pick him up and I would hold him and I would cry and I would just make sure that I didn't go anywhere. That wasn't going to serve he and I. So try as many things as you can and you will discover, you'll feel something tingle, right? You'll feel something in your heart and just keep chasing that and be the best at that.
That is so good. Thank you so much. And Justin, you couldn't see it, but the minute you said NDF, those ladies out in there, they lost their mind.
Oh yeah. we used to shovel snow though. We don't have it. We used to go and shovel snow for the people's driveways in McGill and Ely, and but they did bring us cookies out. That was nice.
Right. Well, if they get snow out of Gene Conservation Camp, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Charlie, step up. Tell us your name. What is that question or comment you might have for Mr. Bloom?
As you said, my name is Charlie. One of the things that me and my friends really resonated with us when you said, use your past to create your future.
Yep.
Because a lot of people feel like they are defined by their past, and you have to realize that past is what made you who you are today. So that really resonated. Secondly, do you give discounts to people coming out of prison?
Yeah, as soon as you guys get out, yeah. As soon as you get, yeah. I wonder if we could figure something out to get fitness up there.
Oh, yes,
I'm like,
absolutely.
Yes. Let me connect with John and see if. Oh, you guys are.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Steph's gonna get you guys fitness up there. She's working on that.
Right.
With the younger center for
yes.
So I think she and John are working on something like that.
It's funny that she mentioned that because here,
yeah,
did you
she's
see
back
Stephanie
here.
in there? Yeah. We
Yeah.
were just talking about that today,
Yeah.
but that was great.
So I'll help with whatever I can with them to get you guys that stuff up there as well.
All right, that is beautiful. We're going to go to Southern Desert Correctional Facilities, and if you guys are asking to put a fitness center up there, I'm going to disconnect you right now. Step up, tell us your name, and what is that question and comment you might have for Justin Blum?
What's going on, Justin? My name is Devon Marks. So, yeah, I was listening to your backstory, man, and your backstory is one that I feel like a lot of these dudes in here can relate to, myself included. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't an extravagant upbringing, but at the same time, it's one that we can all relate to because living in this city, it's only so many different ways you're going to grow up, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you had got out of prison and you joined the construction business, you said it was a lot of times where, you know, you kind of wanted to stop and go resort back to getting some fast money, but you stayed the course and you was putting in a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I do masonry up in here. You know what I'm saying? It is basically like a lot of labor that goes into that. You know, you got the mason tenders, you got the actual block layers and stuff like that. And it's a lot of hard work. Sometimes we have some rough days and it's like, you know, it discourages some people. They get back to the unit like, man, I don't know if I could do this. There's no career. And I always try to express to them that, you know, you have to stay the course and stay in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stay in the moment, live in the moment. Don't think about the end result. Don't think about where you came from. Just live in the moment. Be your best that you can be in this exact moment. So I wanted you to expound on the process. You know what I'm saying? Because Vernon Davis had spoke at the last graduation, and he had gave us a story about the U.S. track team when the lady dropped the baton and she still picked it up even though they was disqualified and she finished the race anyway. You know, that's persistence. That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
So I want you to expound on the fact of, you know, the point that you made as far as staying the course. And when you stayed the course in your construction career, you actually received blessings within that, friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start working out, you stayed working out, and you actually was able to come up with your own idea to start your own business.
Yeah.
So can you give some of the brothers in here some advice and expound on the point of staying the course, you know, focusing on the process, the moment.
Absolutely. Good question. Thank you so much for that. I got two things that come to mind on that really quick. So the first thing is, I guess if you come out and you start laying brick or you start you start that labor position out here when you're free, is it better doing it out here or is it better doing it in there? So that's the first thing you got to think about, right? The second thing I would think about is like the trades industry is not going anywhere. No technology can lay bricks. No technology can put up a house, not yet at least. No technology can do any of these things. And so if I was you guys, because trades are difficult out here, right? Because they're hard, it's labor. Learn business. Come out here. If you know everything there is about landscaping, about putting up a brick wall, about laying tile, be that guy, that go-to guy or that go-to woman out here, start a business, hire other people to do the labor. That's good. Right? And so bring your trade out here, learn everything you can in there and just become an expert at it. Come out here, find a job out here doing the same thing, and then start working on, okay, well, if I'm working for X, Y, and Z business and I'm doing this, start paying attention to how that business runs and then start your own business. That's good. Then you don't have to do the labor anymore. Then you go out and you sell the jobs and things like that.
That is so good, man. Give him a hand for that, man. What a great piece of advice. We still have some time for some questions, comments that you might have, something that we're going to go back into Nevada Department. I'm sorry, Casa Grande Transitional Facility. Please step up. Tell us that question or comment you might have for Mr. Blum.
Hi, I'm Charity. I'm at Casa Grande, and thank you for your testimony, your story. I love stories of perseverance. And my question is, when you left prison and you started to build your business, did you run into any barriers with like networking in order to help build your business? I mean, because you were a felon. I mean, how did you build your social capital when you got out and you started to build that business?
Yeah, good question. Yeah,
a couple of things.
Yeah, for sure. Good question. So when you go and network, they don't need to know you're a felon, right? the only people that start running background checks are, if you're going to go apply for a job and things like that. So if you're going to apply now, there are things I think when you go through like SBA loans and things like that, and you're working with the government to get money, that might come up, but I still don't think it's an issue as long as, as long as the crimes aren't awful crimes. So when you get out, nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know that you're a felon. When people see, for me, it was okay because when you start a business and you're a business owner, it's okay. It's okay what your record is, right? Because you're starting the business. Networking is very simple. So depending on what business, are you going to start a business? Are you looking to?
Well, I'm a realtor, so I'm going back into real estate when I leave here.
Okay,
for 18
perfect.
years. I'm new to the area, and I'm just like, I guess it's just a chip on my shoulder, and it's like mental with me, like a stigma with myself, and getting back out there and networking, and I just feel like it's going to be a barrier for me.
And so that is the number one thing. This is what I was talking about earlier, where the mindset has to be, if somebody asks or it comes up, it's like, yep, I'm a felon.
Transparency.
And if listen, you're, again, like I was telling the gentleman back there, you're gonna run into people who just suck. You're gonna run into companies that just suck, right? And they're like, oh, you have a felon, you're just not a good human, which isn't true. We all know it's not true. We ran into some problems, and if they have a problem with it, just keep going. It's like knocking on 100 doors. You're gonna get 99 no's, but that 100th door you're gonna get a yes, and it's gonna be the best yes of your life.
So good.
Right on.
So don't allow being an ex-felon to divert you from doing anything at all. Nothing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your input. And then one more thing.
Sure.
The girls at Casa Grande, and I think I could speak on behalf of the boys too, we would love some raw fitness support here too.
Yeah. You guys are, I'm trying to think. You guys are,
we need a white ball.
have they built a gym or anything there? No? There's no gym at Casa Grande? You should have it. Huh?
Yeah.
They got room over there, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We'll work on that for sure, because there's room to build a gym over there. I'm telling you, like, and that's the thing too, is like fitness. How many of you guys just hate fitness? So everybody in here, yeah, he's like, well, yeah. Fitness, like if you guys can all get involved in fitness, man, I'm telling you, it gets you away from everything and just with yourself. Throw on some headphones, exercise. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to do that. You just get in your own little zone and you know you're doing something for you, and nobody can take that from you.
That's good. Justin, as we're closing, I have one question.
Sure.
And I generally like to ask this question when people have come out of and now living the phenomenal, successful life that you're living right now. If you could turn back the hands of time, to what age would that be? And what is the one thing you would tell the younger you?
That's a great question.
I know, that's why I hope
I think I would probably turn the hands back to when my parents split up and I started to realize that things were going to be different, and just tell myself it's going to be okay. Because thank you. It's kind of like I go back to saying, like, your past helps you build, is like, I'm glad enough. I don't want to go back and change anything. Going to prison probably saved my life. I was just, so that's probably what I would do. Great question.
So good. Can we give Justin a big, gigantic Hope for Prisoners round of applause? Man, thank you so very, very much. We certainly appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming, spending your time here with us this evening. And again, it's just a very, we love these kind of success stories, but you have to know and understand, whether you're in this room or whether you're watching inside Nevada Department of Corrections, there is absolutely nothing on the inside of Justin Blum that is not on the inside of you. You just got to tap into that and run with it until the wheels fall off. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Before we go, we just want to let the folks over in Casa Grande know, and the ladies out at Gene Camp, that we are going to be in the facility within the next couple of days as we're preparing for our 101 Christmases, where we want to create a Christmas opportunity for you and for your family. So be on the lookout for that. I want to say goodnight to everyone who's watching all over the world on the Hope for Prisoners Facebook Live page. Check it out on the LinkedIn page and the YouTube page. We want to say goodnight to the ladies out at Jean Conservation Camp. Good night, Casa Grande. Good night, Southern Desert. And good night to all of you here at the Billy Walters Center for Second Chances. We will see you next Tuesday night.